everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Tipster Tuesday. I am Dana Moore. I'm a Presidential Diamond and the co-owner of Live Naturally Tools. My partner in this business is Jenna Cross, who's also a Presidential Diamond. That's hot off the press. And I'm excited to come to you today with some placement strategies. So I have 3 different things recording right now. So imagine going live and you can see yourself 3 different ways, and some of them are inverted, so your hair looks different on both sides. So let me just tell you, I feel like I'm a little bit in like a Willy Wonka movie right now or something. But thanks for joining us. We actually went live today in our Facebook group, or I'm sorry, our Facebook page, Live Naturally Tools, instead of in our group, Live Naturally System. Our group, and the way Facebook works is because our group is so big, it doesn't let us make the group public anymore. We don't have that choice. Our group is only can only be secret, which is fine. If you want to be added to our group, Live Naturally System, we're happy to add you if you're a doTERRA builder. But there's nothing I can do about it. But in order to be able to reach more people and educate more people, I thought, well, let's try it over on Live Naturally Tools on the actual page and see if we can serve more people that might not know about the group. And then we're also live on Instagram. Thanks for following us on Instagram. We love that. We love to be on Instagram. That's kind of like the best place you can go to find like even daily workings or ins and outs, tips and tricks that I do. I'll often show like class prep and other types of things that I'm doing in Insta stories and things like that. So anyway, check that out. All right, so we're going to dive into placement strategies. Thanks for joining us. I'm really glad you're here. I have been cracking myself up all morning, like getting ready for this, and I'm in the mirror, and I'm just a total dork, but I'm like, good morning, Vietnam, and I'm like, good morning, Tipster Tuesday, and I'm like psyching myself up for this because I love placements, and so when I start talking about strategy, I just get all like happy. I just get real happy. So one thing I want you guys to know is when I started doTERRA, I was not good at strategy. And it does test as my #1 strength right now, which I think is pretty remarkable for somebody who was pretty clueless about strategy. So I just want to encourage you to rewrite the tape that plays in your head. Like, let's rewrite that story. So if you don't feel like you're good at strategy, which could be probably why you're tuning in to me today, that doesn't have to be your story, okay? You don't have to not be good at strategy. You can be phenomenal at strategy, so let's just start speaking that. Let's just start saying, I am a strategic genius, or I am a boss at placements, or I have got this. And start speaking that over yourself. Start creating in your mind that you are confident, that you know how to do this, that you make great decisions. Start speaking life over this part of your doTERRA business, because it really does matter a lot, and I know that you can master it and you'll get better at it, okay? So I just want to be encouraging to you on that. The other thing that I want you to know that I am a huge fan of is Rank Planner and Power of 3 worksheets, and we have all these as free downloads on our website on livenaturallytools.com. You can go to the downloads and you can download these and print them, and I am a huge advocate of printing them every single month, filling them out every single month, because otherwise you can often forget where you're short in your organization. Like, you might not know where you potentially need some volume. I've had leaders be like, I'm going to go for this rank, I'm going to go for platinum. And I was like, okay, let's look at your organization. And I'm kind of like, well, what about, what about over here? What about the fact that your volume's at 400 and needs to be at 3,000, and it's like, yeah, I'm hoping for something to happen there. And I just think hope is not a strategy. Rachel Hollis always says that hope is not a strategy. And I could not amen her more on that, because that is not the way that you're going to be successful and find not only where to focus, but then where to put enrollments when they do come in, okay? So these are really, really important. The Power of 3 worksheet is actually probably my favorite, because specifically around the rank of gold, I do feel like your Power of 3 should start to shape up or be in place. Now, that is totally my opinion, but I get to give free unsolicited advice when I do these. So take it for what it's worth, but I do think around the rank of gold, your $1,500 bonus should be shaped up. Sometimes if you can hit it as a silver, that's awesome. but usually it comes into play and is very possible when you're the rank of gold. So if you are a gold or have hit gold, that would be actually a crucial time to really look at that 1500 and think, man, am I closer to that? Because as you fill that in, you'll also be building toward platinum as well. So that's awesome. So that's my tip. And I would just say, no matter what, have everybody fill these out from when you first start building, and maybe you only have like 2 people to put on your organization or put in your team, 2 strong LRPs. Start filling these out on a monthly basis and save them. That's another way to just track growth and progress. And that's really important because sometimes you can feel like, I don't know if my business is really growing and I can't really look back, 6 months. I can't really look back to see like what has happened or what has changed. And I would just say, if you have these, you can look back and see, man, look how much I have filled in over time. I'm going to move this light real quick. Sorry, guys. I feel like I'm a little dark in Facebook. I don't know if I am. Okay. So anyway, that's my tip for that. Another great tip is when you have really solid LRPs and like they're counted on and the people are running them constantly, is write those in marker, and then the variables where you're just not sure about, or like sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, I write those in pencil because those things can change and kind of be like your alternative, people. So anyway, print this, look at it, fill it out, get to know it. I coached a bunch of people yesterday. We offer coaching through Live Naturally, and I had a slew of, doTERRA builders on, and one was a repeat who had like coached with me before and came back, and I was like, how are you doing? What's the update from last time? And she had filled out her worksheet. So last month she hit her gold rank plus $1,500 bonus, which was thrilling, and just really started to stack her volume more. And so she has builders that are more on fire, and I could not have been more thrilled for her, but she really took this seriously and started filling this out. So that's my little plug. These are free. We offer them for free. Print them out, use them as much as you need to. They're phenomenal. And same with Rank Planner, because the thing about owning your own business and being the CEO of your business and understanding strategy and structure, you actually have to understand like how the game is played. You have to understand what it takes to break into the next level. And that's how my mind thinks. My mind thinks, how can I beat the next level? Which is very maybe like gamer or video game speak, which I don't play and never have played my entire life. But I do know how it works, that if you like conquer a level, you get to like unlock the next thing, like Candy Crush, whatever. Like that's how things work. You have to conquer something and you can unlock the next thing. And so that's how I played my doTERRA game all the way through, like basically till presidential. I was like, how do I unlock or beat the next level? And it's by classes and volume and then strategic placement. So, okay, I'm going to dive into placement now, but I just need you guys to know how to track these things and look at them, okay? Okay, so first of all, I have some things that I would say, these are the questions that you write down every time you bring an enrollment into your organization, okay? So this can apply to everybody. If you're a very seasoned builder, that's awesome. And this is just stuff you can teach to people, on your team, or maybe you can apply from here on out. But if you're new, these are things that are really going to matter. So this strategy time today is really more about new people and understanding kind of how to structure really good from the get-go, so that you don't have to kind of work on mistakes later. Now, I will say everything is fixable, and there have been many times where we have made major mistakes and had to just wait things out and be really patient and continue to build, and we've been able to fix things. So almost everything is fixable, truly. So if you feel like you've made mistakes, don't dwell on that. That's not going to serve you at all. Everything is completely fixable, okay? All right, so the first thing I want you to ask yourself when you enroll somebody is, where will this person grow the best, okay? So you are sometimes enrolling people, in a class, and they're like, they all know each other. Maybe the class host, everybody's going to go underneath there because everybody's going to grow best because you built some type of community with them and they already have a relationship. But sometimes you do a one-on-one and you don't know where that person is going to grow best, or you don't know who they know or who's connected and things like that. And so you kind of figure out where are they going to grow best. So I ask myself, like, well, where do they live? For example, let's just say hypothetically, I have 3 legs growing and one's in Pennsylvania and 2 are in Wisconsin. And maybe my Wisconsin legs are just completely thriving and they're really, really strong, but I enroll somebody in Wisconsin. And I think, well, my Pennsylvania leg is so weak and it needs help and I need to put people over there. But what is best for this person? Is it best for this person to go over there, or is it best for them to be tapped into something really strong and thriving locally? And I know that's kind of like a, well, duh, put them on Wisconsin. But a lot of times what I see people make mistakes on is they're just constantly trying to plug holes. It's like their ship is sinking and they're like, plug a hole, plug a hole, plug a hole, plug a hole, plug a hole. And then that's kind of how like they build their whole organization. And eventually like those holes will burst again and be weak because they didn't really like latch on or secure themselves well to the people around them. And so I just always think, where will they grow the best? Where is the absolute best placement for them? Is there other layers of support that I can tap them into besides just me? I don't want to be their only source of everything in doTERRA. And what does this look like? What's going on with their community? So that's a huge one for me. And sometimes there's no like, location placement that works. Like, it doesn't make sense. They're kind of like a complete free agent is what I call them, because I think of like football, and they could be drafted and placed anywhere. And in that situation, I'm going to enroll in the hole, and I'll explain that in a little bit. Okay, the other thing about placing them is think about short-term and long-term goals. So you might want to place somebody for the short term because you're like, well, I need this rank and this is like the linchpin and like I can enroll them and boom, I've got it all sorted. However, that might just serve you for this month alone, but what about the future? Like, what about next month? What about the rest of the year? What about long-term? I just am always a proponent of think about the long term versus the short term. That's going to serve you the best and it's going to serve them the best. And so sometimes we can get hasty and eager for a short term goal. And I understand that. I understand wanting to like conquer something and rank and beat a level. But I also understand that you don't want to do it once. You don't want to be a one-hit wonder. You want to keep hitting and ranking over and over and over again. And so think about the long term versus the short term. Will this serve me today? Probably. But is this going to serve me in 6 months? Is this going to serve them in 6 months? Is it the best place? So that's kind of another question I want to ask and figure out, like, long-term goal, what's the best place for this? Now, within that, sometimes you can enroll them as a customer and fulfill a short-term goal and upgrade them later and maybe adjust their placement. And that would be, for a long-term goal, but that doesn't always work well. And it just isn't necessarily the best strategy. I try to place them really good the first time, but there is some like kind of open for interpretation there. So take that with a grain of salt. Okay. The other thing I ask myself, or when I'm working with somebody to help them with placements, is I want to know where their pain point is or the weak spot on their team. So for example, in my example, which is totally hypothetical, but I've got 2 strong Wisconsin legs and 1 like struggling Pennsylvania leg. So that's a weak spot for me. Okay. So that's a pain point. So that's where I want to focus. And that's where I want enrollments, but I don't necessarily want to just find enrollments anywhere and throw them there. What I want to do is strategically strengthen that team. And so with that actually comes not just placement strategy, but actual like education strategy, online classes, traveling to my team there, whatever it may be to help modify or rectify that pain point. Because I might be able to fill in the hole a lot there, or maybe I will be able to create a new leg under there. I don't know. But the best thing I can do is actually like solidify and strengthen that team. And it doesn't necessarily mean just throw people on it and hope that somebody does something. Sometimes it means actually creating culture. So just keep that in mind, because there's always a caveat to it. It's not just like, okay, placements. It's not like we're just, putting a puzzle together, because these are people and these are relationships. And so there's more that is happening for all of that. You guys, it's a trip watching myself 3 times. Let me just say that. I just feel like I'm like, whoo. Oh, Lord help me. Okay. Next thing, can this placement kill 2 birds with 1 stone? That's a big thing for me, okay? I want to know if it can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And so with that, what I mean is, does this fill in both a power of 3 spot for me and a rank spot? Does it do both? So if I'm looking at my power of 3, bonus, and I could place somebody maybe on my 3rd level, does this volume not only count for someone's Power 3, including my own, but does it also count to help boost rank in a certain place? And that is, to me, like a winning placement strategy, because you're not only building up your Power 3 and other people's Power 3, but you're building up your rank and other people's rank. And so I like placements on my third level for that reason, because they're usually serving two purposes with that. They're boosting volume in a place that I need volume, and they're also counting for Power 3. So that's a really key thing to see. Kind of once you know where are they going to live, where are they going to, you know, be supported best, what's going to serve them best, what's best for my long-term goal, and then can this fill two holes, basically? Can this support volume for the sake of volume overall, and can this also land a strong Power 3 spot for me? That's going to be crucial. Okay, so those are two questions that you want to consider, because that's really important. And then you're going to feel like so much more successful, because you're filling in both things on your rank planner and your Power 3 worksheet. So your game or your puzzle is being filled in better. Okay. Another question, in the future, will I have to gift this person away? Will I have to give them to the builder above them, or, you know, or not? And am I okay with that if I do? That's a really good question to ask. Do I have to gift them in the future so that they can rank, so that I can rank? Will that make sense for me? If that comes to be like the case down the line, am I okay with that? And that is a very key question to ask, because that will help you know where to place. If you don't want to have to gift an enrollment at all, we recommend putting them on your fourth level, because usually everything is in place where you wouldn't have to gift them to hit a rank. And so that volume would support and raise, you know, like lift everyone's volume and be very helpful, but yet you can keep that enrollment forever because you don't have to gift them. Now, am I negative toward gifting enrollments? Not at all. I've gifted a ton of enrollments away, and it has served me to hit rank, and it has served my leaders to hit their rank, and I have zero regrets with that. But now I'm at a place where there's no reason I have to gift away any enrollments, because all of my you know, holes are plugged, so to speak. All of my people are in place. And so I want to place strategically where, you know, I don't have to do that. They wouldn't ask me for that. I can keep my enrollments. And so you'll come to that place, but honestly, it's part of the game. Gifting enrollments is part of the game. So one of the things I would just say with that, there's just some more free advice for you, is not that you're asking for it, but you're on here, so maybe you are, is within that, don't gift an enrollment away until it counts for both their rank and your rank. You know, like they might be able to rank with a gift, but can you rank as well? You might want to hold on to it a little bit longer. That's a good strategy. And now, again, don't go back and say, Dana told me not to gift. You know, there might be a situation where you're not going to rank, but your builder is, and they're killing it, and this is going to be crucial for them, and you want to gift that enrollment, and it's okay. So I want you to not take everything I say like so literally, and understand you have to weigh this out within your organization and your relationships with these people as well. But I do consider it, because I don't want to have not thought it through, make some hasty decisions or some promises I can't keep, and then go back on my word. That's really important to me that I don't do that. And so that's something that you want to think about, okay? So let me tell you what I meant by enroll in the hole that I talked about earlier. Is, say you've asked yourself these questions and you have these what we call free agents, where you're like, listen, my Power 3 1500 looks strong. My rank for right now is strong. I have like what I call a free agent. I don't know where to put them. And that's when we say enroll in the hole. And enroll in the hole is like, there's got to be a spot that somebody needs a like volume boost or enrollment, and it doesn't matter if they belong anywhere or not. So I'm actually enrolling in the hole more often than not lately, because when I enroll and I have, you know, my structure is kind of strong and in place, then I'm thinking, okay, where do I have a pain point or weak spot? And they're all going to get supported by me no matter what. So it doesn't matter where I put them. I'm going to put them somewhere that is just going to help basically plug a hole. So there is time to do that. I just don't love that for every single enrollment. We're like, plug a hole, plug a hole, plug a hole, plug a hole. I love to build community. I love classes. I talk about that all the time, because I think it builds community and you build strong structure that way. But once in a while, you're going to have the the offhand enroll in the whole. And with that, I want you to think big about that, okay? So here's my thought. You have one random person, they don't go anywhere, they don't connect to anyone. It's definitely like a fresh pocket of people. I place them somewhere in my organization where I need support and help, but I think, okay, if this person hosts for me and all their friends enroll, which is going to happen, how will that look once this grows? Because it's going to grow. And so I just speak a ton of life and intention into that enrollment and what's going to happen with them. And I just believe that it's going to happen. And you guys, our whole organization was kind of mapped out hypothetically by Betsy Holmes years ago. And I'll kind of explain the story to you because she wouldn't care. But my upline is Spring E-Step. And above her is Betsy, and Betsy was like, okay, Spring, you're going to go to Wisconsin. You're going to enroll your brother, Dustin, and sister-in-law, Betsy, another Betsy, who's my enroller. And then they're going to enroll their friends. And then this is your organization. She just started to draw circles, like on her whiteboard, tons of circles. Like, this is going to blow up. It's going to take off. Your leg is going to grow. And it was kind of like, yeah, right. Betsy and Dustin are never going to enroll. It was like the feeling that Spring had at that time. Because they were kind of anti-MLM at the time, which, kind of weren't we all. But they did enroll, and then they did enroll me, and then I did enroll Jenna and a boatload of other really strong, incredible leaders. And it went on and on and on and on and on. And 35,000 people later, Betsy Holmes drew that out and said, this is what is going to happen on this leg. And I am just like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. And so I just want to challenge you to do that. Like, when you enroll somebody, like, think way beyond where they're at. It's not just one enrollment. It's their network. It's their organization. It's their friends. It's their relationships. And it's going to go on and on and on and grow for you. And you can kind of think like that. When you think like that, put your energy and your focus in places like that, that's where, like, things will grow. That's where things will flourish. That's where you'll find that you're like, wow, my team blew up there. It's because you're actually focused on it and you're visualizing something as though it is, even though it isn't yet, okay? So that's really, really important to do with placement strategy. The last thing I'm going to leave you with, because I only like to go about 20 or so minutes with this, is if you're brand new with this, and I've said this before, and I got this from my friend Sarah Jansen, is always build an elite with 2 feet. So when you're enrolling, and if you're brand new with this, you want to identify 2 people on your top line that will commit to that monthly order and start putting people underneath them, okay? So basically, I'm always looking for a builder or a sharer to start growing 2 legs. And then, you start building under them, and once those 2 legs get a little full, I'm looking for another 2 people to break off and build under them, and 2 people to break off and build under them. Because basically what I want to do is set people up for the rank of Premier. I want their strategy to be placed like that. I want their rank planner worksheet to be heading towards Premier. I don't want them to just build elite, which is all volume, and you could have, 30 people on your top line and hit the rank of elite, but you're going to be stuck at elite for a very, very, very long time because you have no structure in place. And if we can start you with structure and strategy from day one, if we can start helping you to prepare to unlock the levels from day one, you're going to fly through elite, straight through Premier. Once you have Premier and you're getting that bonus, you're slowly cultivating that, that 3rd leg. So you're heading for silver, but you're building elite with 2 feet. So, okay, you guys know the rank of silver. I hope, has three legs of 3,000. Okay. It's a very easy rank to understand the structure of. But if all of your elites have 2 feet and they're already building 2 legs out, okay, so now they're all set up to hit Premier. You as a leader, you are set up to hit gold, which is incredible, instead of plateauing at silver. So this is a huge strategy that's going to serve you so you don't plateau at silver. And I have seen way too many people at silver for way too long. You guys, years at silver. And that breaks my heart. They shouldn't be at silver that long. You should never be at silver that long, okay? You want to break into gold, and your $1,500 bonus is usually part of that along the way, okay? So think about that. Make sure that you're doing elite with 2 feet. So it's a Premier. You're structuring for Premier. You got your 2 legs that you're building, but you want that. And then, as volume comes in and you don't know where to place it, now all of a sudden because maybe you're trying to solidify silver, but you got 2 legs to go under, and so you're hitting silver along the way, but you're structuring and placing for the rank of gold. And that's like huge to me that you would be thinking that way, and I think that actually will save you from being stuck at silver for too long. And so think that through, and then that way there's no question. There's no question, where do I place people? Where do I place people? Am I a fan of starting a 4th leg? Usually not. Usually I see people start a 4th leg, and when I coach people and their volume is just spread really thin, they're missing like the rank of gold, because they're set up trying to think about diamond. And I feel like once you're gold, hitting your 1500 and moving into platinum, I have a whole nother placement strategy with like a ghost leg that I think can help you soar into diamond and beyond. There's an old Tipster Tuesday about that from earlier this year, but I'll repeat it again sometime. But that is going to save you. So keep that in mind. It's easy to remember. Elite with 2 feet, elite with 2 feet. I would say go right now. This is your little action step. Go right now and print these off of our website. Okay, so livenaturallytools.com. Go into the downloads, print your rank planner, and you can just print off the sheet that you need. And these are fillable, by the way. So if you click to download them, I believe you can just actually fill them in online too. If you're more of an online visual person, start filling them out. And when you fill out, even if you're like a premier, and maybe you are a silver, fill out the gold rank planner worksheet. That's the one I want you to fill out. It looks like this, okay? Fill this out, because once you're there, you have your 3 elites. I know it says premier, but you're speaking as if, they are going to be. And then you see, let me make sure you can all see that. You can see the 2 feet you're building underneath them, right? You're building for their 2 legs. And now, of course, they're going to hit elite. You're going to hit silver along the way. But what we want you to do is hit gold. We want you to be structured and ready for gold, okay? So if you mess this all up and you're like, I don't know how to fix my mistake, you can schedule coaching with us. We're happy to do that. If we could do coaching for all of you for free, we totally would, but we just don't have that time. But you can book coaching with Jenna or I. She is also extremely strategic and has taught me almost everything I know. Like, we have partnered together so hard in this whole time. And so schedule a coaching if you're like, I don't know how to fix this. But honestly, I think with the tips that I'm giving you today, and if you take your time to fill out your worksheets, you're probably more empowered and ready to fix some things than you even realize. And you can go through and fix them yourself or structure for the future, okay? So I'll go back through and answer questions in a little bit. We have Tuesday's our big Live Naturally day. We're going to be updating a ton of videos today, so that like our class handout tutorial is updated and some other things. So you can check those out on our Facebook group and Live Naturally system. That's why we have it, so we can have a whole file full of videos and tutorials and things to help you. They also end up going on our website and different things as well. So they're going to be a lot of tools that can serve you. So I will get to your questions. Just if I don't right away, please forgive me. We just have a really full day of a lot of stuff that we're kicking out before the holidays. So we love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for bearing with me as I don't know where to look. But I will hopefully see you next week. Have a good one.